guys, what's up? Today we're going to be going over the lights I chose for my Jeep build. But first off, I want to just thank you guys for the support, all the likes, all the comments that you guys are giving. I try to respond to all the comments, but I am a little bit busy with school. But I will get to your comment as soon as I can. And I just wanted to thank you guys, but now let's get into the Jeep. Alright guys, so the lights I went with are both from Auxbeam. Auxbeam is a good brand. Their products are pretty good quality, and they were pretty affordable for the Jeep. They weren't the most expensive, and they weren't the cheapest like Chinese ones. And I'm liking them so far. But the first light we're gonna be looking at is their 52-inch curve LED light bar. And this is one of the special ones because this is the one that has RGB lights that you've been seeing around, and everything's controlled through your phone, through Bluetooth and their app, and it's pretty easy to use, and I'll show you guys that a bit later. But on the Jeep, it was pretty simple to install with these mounts. These mounts do not come with the light, but you can find these on Amazon. I'll try to link them down below. And these mounts only need 3 rivets per side, so you could just hold up the mount, make 3 little holes, and put on your rivets, and your light bar is mounted. I'll test these lights out a little bit later because it's too light out and you can't really see it. And for the Jeep XJ, I ran my wires through the passenger side because I didn't want these wires showing on the driver, because that's where you're going to see them mostly. First, they come out the light, and if we just open the door, I ran them. You could run them behind this little rubber, or you could run them in front the way I did. And I put them behind this trim. I just pulled out the trim a little bit, and I ran the wire inside and down by the glove box, and I removed this one panel here, and I ran the wire behind and through the carpet. And this one has all these control boxes, but I don't know if you could see, but I just hid it under the carpet for now. Like they won't move or anything, and it's not really necessary to put them in the front. So it was a little bit easier, and it works out. And then the wires come up and into the center console, and here on the center console, this is a special plate that you could get on eBay, and then you just got to paint it and put it on. And these rockers switches, they're pretty cheap on Amazon. I'll link them down below too, but they light up without the car being on, and once you click it on, the top light of whatever accessory you have will light up. It's pretty cool, and they work out, and they replace your ashtray, and they look pretty good inside the Jeep. It doesn't look too odd. And that's the way I put on the top light. And now let's move on to the rock lights that I put on. Alright guys, so for the second set of lights, I went with the Auxbeam. This is their 8-piece rock light set that you could also control Bluetoothlessly on your phone through the app. And this is what the rock lights look like. They're pretty well made, and they're waterproof, and they're way better than the other ones, and they're not that expensive either. These just screw on to the main Bluetooth box that I'll show you guys later, and it gives you a good decent amount of wire that you can mount basically anywhere. And for each little light, they come with a bag, and it comes with 2 different mounting options. It comes with a flat normal rubber mount for any like flat surface, and they also give you a curved mount for like a roll cage or something. And for each, they also give you 2 bolts and the 2 nuts, and this kit gives you everything that you need to put on the rock lights. And it's pretty simple. And now let me go show you guys where I put these. Alright guys, so for the 4 rock lights that I already have installed, I still need to install 4 more, but I just installed 4 for now. I put 1 in each wheel weld, and for the front, it's pretty easy because we have this plastic fender liner, and you could just remove it, drill it, and then run all the wires behind, and you could tie in the nuts. And I put mine right in the middle, right where there was a nice flat spot, and it's up there, and I tied it from when the liner was down, and then I just pushed it back up, and it's firm there. It's not going to go anywhere, and the rubber mount is still there. and all the wires come down and it will just exit out the back and under the car to the little Bluetooth module. The front's the easiest, the back is a little bit different, and I'll show you guys that right now. Let me show you guys where the Bluetooth module is. For the back, it's a little bit different because I don't have a plastic fender liner. This is just the body. So instead of, there's no way to put on the normal screws that they give you because there's a nut. So if you could just get 2 self-tappers, and it'll make your life a lot easier. So you could just drill 2 holes to the top and put a small self-tapper, and it won't go annoy the top because this is the wheel well, and it's covered by a plastic cover, so these screws won't be like poking up from the floor, and it's pretty solid. And then I just run the wire behind the fender and down. I haven't mounted it 100%, but I'm gonna keep the wires up so that they don't come in contact with the tire, but then they go up. And make sure, guys, if you do route it this way, make sure there's nothing like moving parts that are going to get tangled with this wire, or else you're going to rip off the wire, or you could rip off your rock light. But that's how I mounted the front and the back. I still have 4 more lights, but I haven't decided where I'm going to put them yet. But alright guys, now under the Jeep, and where this is the driver's side, I decided to mount my Bluetooth module right here because this is where all the rock lights could reach. And then you have to run a power wire to your battery, a positive and a negative, from here all the way to the battery. And this is where you, on the other side of this, there's going to be a code that you have to type in to the Bluetooth app, so then you could connect to this control box. And all the wires feed around here. These are the 4 that I have done, and this is the 4 that I just zip tied up so then they could keep out of the way. And it's been holding up great. And the 2 from the front come along. I followed the gas line and the brake line, and I zip tied all of the wires up, and everything's held up for now. And this control box is just held up by 2 self-tappering screws that I first drilled, and then I put them up. They don't have to be super long, but I used them small enough. And this is right under the seat, so there's gonna be like no screws poking up through the floor where your feet are, so that's a plus. And I still have more lights to expand, but this is how I installed mine. So guys, for the wiring for the Auxbeam rock lights, I bought a wiring harness for 1 light, and it made installing and wiring the rock lights way easier. So they come up from the chassis, and I run them inside the car through the hole all the way in the top. The lights run all the way down from the carpet and into the center console, and then I ran it to this rock light right here. So when I click it, it turns on the rock light, and it says rock light. And then from the wire goes from the switch all the way back around the carpet and up to the hole. And we come around to the front, that hole, it leads right up here. There used to be a plug over here, but we had to run some wires, but once we're done with all the wiring, I'm gonna fill it back up, so then there's no like debris going inside the car. And then it runs back up, and the wiring harness I bought has a relay that I mounted right here to a factory bolt, and it comes with a fuse. And if you don't get this harness, the Auxbeam does not include this for their rock lights, but they do include this for their top LED bar. But it's pretty cheap. I think it was under like $13, and I'll link it down below. But it has a fuse and it has a relay, so it's a good plus, and it comes with all the wiring you need. And for the wires, I just zip tie them along the existing harness, and they come up and connect to the battery. I'm gonna clean it up, and I'm gonna wrap the wires up with some that wire like loom or whatever, and it's gonna look a lot nicer than all these wires all around. But I still have more LED lights I want to put on, so I'll wait until those come in so I could finish it and do a complete job. But that's how I ran the lights. And now let's move on to testing the top LED bar, but we gotta wait until it gets a little bit darker so then you could actually see what they could do. Alright guys, now it's finally dark outside, so we're gonna come inside our Jeep and we're gonna turn on our rock lights because those are gonna be the first one we're gonna be looking at. And we come outside the Jeep and we're just gonna go to that side. There you go guys, that's our rock lights on our Jeep. They light up pretty good. I have them all around all the 4 tires. They look pretty cool, and they light up all your suspension parts. It's a little hard to see on camera because it's dark outside, but they light up really bright and it makes your Jeep look way cooler at nighttime. And then when you pull up the app, as you can see I have it on my phone, once I move my finger around to whatever color I want, the Jeep also moves. It's pretty quick too. So like blue, and then we could go to red, and then we could go to green. And on the app there's also style, so if you want it pulsing red and green, also there's like strobe for 1 colors, and you could adjust the speed and for faster and slower, like the strobe rate or whatever. And then you could come over here, and then there's strobe, and for the speed you could go slower, and then you could also bring it all the way up for pretty fast. And one of the cool settings is the pulsing red and blue, which makes your Jeep look like a little cop car while it's rolling down the street. But I do not recommend using these lights. I'm only using them because I'm in my backyard right now, but you cannot use these lights around the streets. But there's many different colors. Like this is the pulsing white. The app gives you lots of customization, and it makes your Jeep look pretty good. And we're gonna go to pulsing blue, and that's the rock lights from Auxbeams. And now we're gonna move up to the top LED bar. Alright guys, now we're inside our Jeep, and I'm gonna turn on the top LED bar from Auxbeam, and it's gonna shine up the whole backyard. There you go guys, that's how the LED light bar shines up my whole backyard. It's pretty bright, and there's a wide like field of view. And then you pull up the app again. It's a different app because I couldn't connect both of them to the same one, but it does the same. So for colors, I could just move my finger around, and as you can see it's changing. And we're gonna go outside. So the Jeep light shining, so we could go blue, then we could go red, then we could go green. And then on this app you could also do modes, so then you could do like it flashes all different colors. And once again you can do a blue and red to have your car looking like a little police car. But once again, do not drive on the road with these because they're a little bit illegal. There's also a white, and on the app you can lower the brightness, so then you can have it really dim and you can't see a lot, or you could bring it all the way up and shine everything. And that's gonna be the end guys. That's the Auxbeam 52-inch curved LED light bar and the Auxbeam rock lights but I don't have them on right now. And I'll see you guys in the next video.